Hello everybody, Keith here again. This one is the usual end of the month in bloom video. We're right at the end of the month, it's the 28th of February. We've had a few days away visiting a granddaughter who's studying at Dusseldorf University at the moment, the third year of her degree. So I'm a bit all over the place just at the moment. So here it is. It's not a particularly long one, there aren't that many there, but just for once I also want to show you something that's not in flower yet. But tends to have quite short-lived flowers, so I'll show you something that I think is possibly quite interesting. Right, let's start with the odd one out, the one that's not quite in flower yet. And this is my Psychosis Mariposa. Now, why am I showing you this one? Well, it was one of my development plants for 21 to 22, and when we did the final video for that, which was January, so about 5 or 6 weeks ago, this tip was completely brown. There was no sign of a bud. There had been, and it had died back. And since then, it suddenly put this out again. We obviously got a flower bud there, plus another bud coming up above. So it's the same old advice, read your plants and keep tabs on things. It is growing. We've got a new growth just here. So yeah, we're doing okay. That one anyway. Right, the ones that are actually in flower. Start with some of the Phalaenopsis perhaps. This one, full of sunset golden suns. It's been identified to me. This spike, not quite sure where it's going, to be absolutely honest. Let me try and stabilise it a bit. We've got something that might be a few more buds at the end of the spike, but it's not had quite such a big spike as it has done sometimes. We've got lots of roots that are doing quite well. So that one's okay, doing all right. That's really all you can ask for. Mini Mark, which seems to be a permanent feature of these in flower videos, just keeps going and going and going and going and going. I mean, it's lovely to see, but all these things, it's a good job you're going to have to just keep belting fertiliser into it and hope that it's going to be sustained well enough. It's doing fine as far as you can tell, but we haven't had a new leaf for a little bit, although we've got roots, so don't know, is it okay or is it not? This one, which is supposed to be Laodaro but probably isn't because it hasn't got a scent. Very similar to Laodaro, but this was a brand new spike that it put up, which makes a change. Doesn't pull back the old spikes, it tends to maintain them, and I haven't been cutting them off until they've started to die back. But it put a new spike up this time, but it's only put one flower out. But we have got some buds following behind. So perhaps this, like a lot of others, needs a bit more daylight and is starting to move. I'm sure that's what the Psychosis needed, was a little bit more daylight than it had been getting. It's probably a toss-up whether this one, there's no ID Minifile, will be here next month. The main branch on this one has already gone over. There's nothing left to come on that side. There's nothing showing on this one, although this one's still doing okay. So, you know, that one's alright, got plenty of roots, it's looking okay, and seems to be in reasonable nick. Now, here's one of my species phals. This is Mannie Eye, just beginning to open. This one started to open yesterday. We've got two more have opened today. We've got one bud that appears to have blasted. We've got some more buds on the end of the spike. There was a second spike which I managed to snap, but it's branched, so we're going to get some more flowers on this one yet. Quite pretty, quite small, simple flowers. I like them, to be honest. I like the simpler, more natural flowers than some of the very big blousy ones, nice as they can be, of course. So perhaps not quite as eye-catching, but one that I like and one that's got lots of roots and root tips and what have you. So that's obviously reasonably happy. Paphiopedal and Mannie Eye, the second flower, the first one this year is over and done with and finished. I don't know how much longer this has got. Still quite green. It does tend, the pouch tends to start going yellow before it starts, but it seems to be in reasonable health at the moment. We've got lots of spikes on the plant, so it might flower again yet. It does sometimes. It'll flower around now, and it might flower a bit later on, but that sort of does its own things. Marches to its own drum, as the old saying goes. The American hybrid, or Bulldog Path, looks a lot like Insigne. I've had this a few years now. I repotted it at the end of last year. It split into two, and both plants have flowered. In fact, this one's got a second spike that's come up behind the first one off a different fan. They last a long time, do these flowers? And I've said many times before, if you see one of these in a garden centre and you've got the room, because you're talking about a big plant, get one, because they're very easy to keep. Just treat it very much like a Phalaenopsis and it'll be quite happy and do okay for you. We're down now to the last one or two. This is Sauna Pro Fire, been in flower for a little while now and quite clearly is not going to be there next month, I'm sure. But we've got good solid canes. It's not really showing any signs of decay or anything like that, so I think we've got a good chance of getting some more, another decent cane out of it, hopefully this year. But reasonably easy to grow. I keep it on a windowsill facing northwest, and it just does its own thing, really. The only problem is keeping the canes reasonably upright so it doesn't fall over. It's one of those that's got heavy canes and not much of a footprint in the soil. Another Sarnock, Dendrobium, this one's Thailand Black. Again, it's flowered really nicely this year for me. Gorgeous flower, very dark burgundy colour, and it's difficult to really see the depth of the colour in and around the trumpet. But yes, that one's done okay. This one has been kept down here in the conservatory, facing more or less west, so it gets some sunshine. This time of year, with all the blinds drawn to try and keep the place warm, it probably isn't getting as much light as it could do with. It's probably why some of my dendrobiums didn't flower as well as they could have done this year. But I can't really afford to heat this place any other way than off the central heating system, so it's a case of keeping these blinds down, which keeps the temperature up, and I can maintain stuff even if I can't make it thrive, so it's always a balance, isn't it? Right, the last of the Nobles in flower, one of the first ones to flower and the last one to finish flowering. This is the Spring Dream, this Bog Standard White one that you seem to find all over everywhere. Quite vigorous, quite an easy grower, big of course like a lot of these Nobles, and it's obviously getting ready for a good spurt because we've got, how we can see it, we've actually got 3 new growths, one there and then 2 off this one. So that's 3 new growths already and starting to move away, so I think that one will do okay. So I think that is going to be it for today. I hope you found that interesting. I've now got to start getting caught up with watering and sorting this lot out after a few days away, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.